This is Pulwtop's 13-in-1 USB-C desktop docking station or monitorizer that features dual 10 gigabits per second USB-C port supporting up to a maximum of 100 watts of output power, 10 gigabits per second USB Type-A port, HDMI 2.0 port, 1 gigabit Ethernet port, SD and microSD card slot, audio and mic jack, and a secret cable management system hidden right under this dock. Now, I've been looking for a monitorizer for my new desk setup in my YouTube studio, so this came in at such a good timing. In this video, we'll go through everything there is to know about this desktop USB-C monitorizer, the features it offers, things I like and dislike, and my overall thoughts. Now, as always, disclaimers first, this is not a sponsored video. However, Pulwtop did send over this unit for a review. They do not get to preview this video before it is published, and everything I say is of my own opinion. With that out of the way, let's dive right in. So we'll start off with the unboxing of this product. Now this big box right here is probably one of the biggest parcels that I've received from Pulwtop. Here we have a classic Pulwtop packaging. The product name is also written on the box as you can see. 13-in-1 USB-C desktop docking station with its product code BD225A. Taking a look behind the box is the list of featured ports that are available on the dock, which we will go through in details in the later section of the video. Now taking a look inside, we have a box of accessories, and this is a 140 watts DC adapter that is used to power the dock. We also have a 80cm braided USB-C to USB-C cable, an instruction manual, and finally this slab of aluminum finish monitorizer. That's basically everything that came included in the box. Now let's move on to the dimensions and build quality of this monitorizer. This USB-C desktop docking station has a rather small footprint with its dimensions sitting at around 22cm in width, 54cm in length, and about 9cm in height, and it weighs in at around 1.9 kilograms. Now I want to specifically compare the height of this monitorizer with my M1 Max Mac Studio, as the monitorizer is slightly taller than the riser. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to fit my Mac Studio under it. However, if you have the M1 or M4 Mac Mini or any small form factor mini PCs, then you'll be able to hide this under with no problems. Now the build quality is made from aluminum finish all around, as the surface is smooth to the touch. The legs of the monitorizer is quite sturdy and it does not wobble or that much. There are rubber feet at the base of the leg providing traction, preventing it from sliding, keeping it rock solid. Now let's move on to the ports that are available on this product. The ports are split into two groups, one in which is situated under the monitorizer and the other are at the right hand side. We start off with the ports at the right hand side, starting with the power button that lights up when pressed. It has the same tactile feedback of an on and off switch like from any other Pulwtop docking station. Next to it we have a USB 2.0 Type-A port, a 3.5mm audio and mic jack, a SD and TF card slot, and the next port right here is a 10 gigabits per second USB 3.2 Type-A port that supports 7.5 watts output power. Next to it is two downstream USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type-C port that supports a maximum output charging rate at 60 watts of output power. Now do take note that with dual USB-C plugged in, each output power will be capped at only 30 watts each. It's also worth mentioning that these USB-C ports does not support alternate mode for video pass-through signals. And that's basically all of the ports that are available on the right hand side. Let's take a look at the bottom side of the docking station. Now as we turn over the docking station, we will first notice this centerpiece, which is the secret cable management feature, which we will talk about it in just a second. Now let's start from the port right here, which is the DC in port that takes in 140 watts that is supplied by the included power adapter. Next to it is the upstream USB-C to host port that connects all of these ports to your computer. It is also worth mentioning that with the USB-C port connected to your MacBook without any other USB-C charging at the sides, you will be able to get a maximum output power of 100 watts. While the dual downstream USB-C ports on the right hand side of the dock are being utilized, this upstream USB-C port will then drop down to 65 watts. Here we also have a HDMI 2.0 port that supports up to 4K 60Hz, a 1 gigabit Ethernet port, and lastly two 5 gigabits per second USB 3.1 Type-A ports. And that's basically all of the ports that are available on the 13-in-1 USB-C desktop docking station has to offer. Now my current desk setup utilizes a regular monitorizer that has no ports or whatsoever. I have showcased this in my previous desk setup video, so if you are interested, do check that out. There will be links in the card above as well as in the description box down below. Now let's transfer over everything that is on my current setup to this new 13-in-1 desktop docking station, and this is how the desk setup is looking. With the cable management system under the monitor riser, it is a little more organized instead of hiding all of the cables behind the monitor. All the excess cable now sits neatly under the tray. Overall, the aesthetic of the monitor riser is quite eye-pleasing. The color theme is actually pretty satisfying to look at. Now, after a quick speed test and charging rate tests on all of the ports, I am glad to report that all of the ports are within specifications. That being said, I've been daily driving this for about 1 to 2 weeks, and let me break down the user experience, the things I like and dislike, features I wish this monitor riser has, and my overall thoughts. Let's start with the things that I like, which is the design and look. The feel of the monitor riser being all aluminium matches perfectly with the M1 Max Studio. The finishing and the overall look complements it really well. On the port side of things, the dual 10 gigabits per second USB-C port as well as the Type A port is nice to have, a Gigabit Ethernet port, HDMI 2.0 port as well, living up to its all-in-one desktop docking station's name. I also really like that the monitor riser has a small footprint, has a dedicated area under the dock for cable management as well. Now, with all of the goods, there were a couple of things that I didn't really like and wish Pulwtop can consider moving on to their next iteration. When putting together all my ports into the docking station, the ports situated at the bottom made it rather challenging, as I had to tuck my head under the tray only to poke around at the ports, hoping to be able to connect it into the ports. The cable management system is useful, but again, being on the underside, and the only way to have a glance at it is again tucking your head under the shelf and roughly winding the cables. And now, I'm not sure if this is a proper way of actually setting this entire thing up. You actually plug in all of the cables, do the cable management and have it all routed out to the back of the riser, and then flip it around and plug it into all of your devices. Now, do keep in mind, if you do cable management before plugging into your device, you don't get to make any small adjustments once you are all set. And now, back to tucking your head down if you ever needed to do any small adjustments. And it actually sounds really troublesome. Now, the next thing that I would say is that in 2025, a 10 gigabits per second USB-C port might not be sufficient for most users, or at least for my workflow. I would much prefer a Thunderbolt 4 USB-C port. Also, a wireless charger on the surface instead of Type A charging ports can be a better alternative, as we are slowly moving into the wireless charging era. That being said, this 13-in-1 USB-C desktop docking station has been a great addition to my desk setup here in my old studio, as well as the second studio. This 13-in-1 USB-C desktop docking station with its product code BD225A is currently priced at $250 on Pulwtop's website. If you are interested, be sure to check out Pulwtop's website for more details. I'll leave a link in the description box down below for your ease of reference. A huge shout out to Pulwtop for sending over this unit for review. And that's basically it for this video. I hope you have found this video insightful. If you have any questions or things that you want me to test out, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you guys as soon as possible. As always, thank you all so much for tuning in. My name is Ken. I'll catch you all in the next one. Stay safe, peace out, and bye bye.